What's good, y'all? This is 1T, and today we're going to appreciate the movie The Transporter 2. Now, of course, if the first Transporter made them some bread, they was going to spin that block. This movie also lives by the if it ain't broke, don't fix it code, because not only were their moments reused, but don't expect any major world building here. It's another decent popcorn flick, and I'm cool with that. The movie starts off with our returning hero Jason Statham as Frank, waiting on another job, when this girl taps his window to get his attention, then tries to set him up. Frank is so unfazed though. He's looking like he's done with the work week already. That's when 4 other men show up to finish the carjacking. And man, I hate their lines.
I got you, baby. That's right. Let's go to the club, baby.
They find out that they don't have a code to start the car and tries to pressure Frank.
Fred will have to beat out you. Get out of this car. Get out of the car.
Yo, who told these actors to be as stereotypical as possible? Frank takes his jacket off so he don't get blood on the drip, then caves Buddy chest in with a jumping back kick and spins other Buddy like a dreidel. My boy, what was that? Look how unimpressed Frank is. You can see the exact moment when Buddy was about to shit himself. There. Right there is when the shirt started happening. If they can reuse moments, I can reuse jokes. Gave that boy some melatonin. The girl pretty much tells Frank, "You got it," and slides out. Now that Frank is done with them, he does the same thing. This time around, Frank is working in Miami, helping a friend who we never see with a job. This time, his job is transporting a little boy named Jack to and from school. I guess Frank wanted a more simple job after all that nonsense that happened in the first movie. Frank arrives at Jack's home and we see his parents fighting outside. Once his parents are done going at it, Jack's mom, Audrey, comes to pick him up, right when Jack and Frank were finishing up a game.
Can I team up with Mom?
I don't know, it's not in the rules.
Come on. What's the point in having rules if we can't bend them?
Okay, just this once.
I'm officially convinced that he does nothing but break his own rules. His mom also thanks Frank for all his hard work, but she goes from arguing spells to single mom real quick on Frank, and she did it so fast she caught my guy Frank slipping and got that man blushing. Little did they know they were both being monitored. Frank was too busy monitoring that ass to notice. We find out who's monitoring Jack's parents' home, Gianni, and he's introduced by popping off on 5 people while sparring in kendo. I respect this because it ups the level properly from the first movie. I will say that the first movie shows Statham walking through pretty much everyone with ease, while this light fight shows that his opponents this time will be a lot deadlier, even if the main baddie is your stereotypical Miami Rico Suave looking bad guy. Once he's done sparring, he heads back home to where some suits are waiting to do business with him. They have a discussion about an unknown virus being delivered for him, so his future plans can work. Later that night, Frank is vibing at his home when Audrey shows up out of nowhere and is hella lit. She out here trying to get transported into Frank's bedroom, but Frank doesn't fold, unlike the last movie. He better than me. Any chick that makes me blush like that then comes to me horny, and I'm going to transport her jaws the fuck out of here. The next morning, Frank is on his way to the doctor's office with Jack. The bad guys already beat them
You'll
there.
have to fill out some papers stating the medical problem.
Actually, my problem's not medical. It's psychological.
You one crazy ass bitch.
Taking out 2 of the workers and switching roles. Once Frank got there with Jack, he notices something off once Jack didn't recognize a single person working. After a few more inconsistent stories and moments, Frank realized that Jack was in danger, so he barges in the room where the 2 men were about to inject Jack with the same substance that we saw from earlier. Frank saw enough and gets a tussle immediately to get Jack up out of there. They get the upper hand, then spears this man Frank through a wall. Damn. But you would think more people would be working today. And why is he still here? Jack is getting Frank fucked up. Frank is finally able to get the upper hand, but he is able to dropkick himself out of the room, knocking themselves out. Now he has to deal with the great value Tomb Raider. Once again, that door is not bulletproof. Even though she is lighting him up, Frank manages to get to Jack and is able to use a gas tank as a mini rocket launcher. Once he gets time, Frank makes his escape, but fake Laura Croft is not far behind. She tells Gianni they got away and it's now time for Plan B. Plan B is to run up on Frank personally and have him take her and Jack back to the main boss so that they can finish their plans. Jack has no choice but to comply as he leaves Jack's house and gets himself in a chase with the police. This one is a lot better than the first movie's car chase. A lot more car stunts are being done in this one and giving this more of that Fast and Furious craziness. Okay, this shot, fuego. We got some Tokyo Drift moves in this bit. But oh shit, this movie came out a year earlier? Alright.
You copy my whole fucking flow! Word for word, bar for bar!
They even got the building to building flying car scene. Transporter 2 was a trendsetter, okay?
Man, stop playing with me. What? I'm the first nigga to do all type of shit.
Buddy had to stop drinking because he knew that was bullshit. The cops show up at Audrey's house to start looking for Jack, and they explain to Jack's parents who Frank really is. At the same time, Frank is heading to the destination point he was forced to head to. They take Jack out the car and surround Frank. Gianni then calls up Jack's father and tells him he needs $5 million or the boy gets it. Once he's off the phone, he takes Jack to the boat and makes Frank leave. But of course, it's not that easy, and Frank sees the bomb under the car. I bet he having flashbacks right now. They all leave, and Frank immediately thinks of something. Okay, this is funny for a couple of reasons. One, I see that they got some CGI money and they know how to act with this one. And two, why wasn't getting out the car an option? Just go GTA another one. Frank calls Jack's dad, but he and the cops are so frantic that they end up getting nowhere with Frank. So he hangs up and calls Tarconi, who's in town for a vacation. But it's too late as the cops raid Frank's home in Miami.
Freeze! Who the fuck are you?
Whoa, calm down, Jamal. Don't pull out the 9. It's just a joke. Come on. Don't shoot. Don't really.
We go back to Jack's dad getting the money together when Frank calls Audrey.
It's Frank. Don't hang up. Pretend it's someone else.
Hi, Susan. No, I'm just here at home.
You lying ass bitch. I can't believe she got away with that, looking like she was obviously lying. I would have been like, nah, you can talk right here. Appreciate it. Like, is she really out there about to talk about Susan's Tinder date while your son is kidnapped? Nigga, hang up on Susan.
Is everything all right?
It's a pretty stupid question to ask right now, don't you think, Jeff?
Oh, that's his name. I deadass wasn't hearing his name the whole movie. Or wasn't paying attention, I don't know. Tarconi gets interrogated, and while that's happening, Frank is heading back to the doctor's office to look for clues. He finds the vial, but gets intercepted by the cops. He makes quick work of them. But the needle ends up being destroyed, so he slides out. While that's happening, Jeff is making the drop and Frank calls up Tarconi.
Wait.
Where are you?
Cooking.
Cooking. Can you talk?
Oh, it's because I live with my mother.
Mom!
Please. Do you mind?
See, that's how you do it.
Thank you.
That was smooth. Tarconi helps Frank by sneaking into the computer and getting the next location for Frank to go. Frank arrives to one of the previous bad guys as he is about to flee but gets stopped by Frank, and now we begin our foot chase. This man thinks he's Neo. This man thinks he's the Terminator. This man thinks he's Spider-Man. Frank is on Buddy's ass, but eventually he makes some distance between them by using a hostage to distract Frank. Frank decides to take a shortcut through the water to catch up. So he hijacks a jet ski. Poor girl wasn't ready to get flipped and kidnapped in front of her mans like that. My boy just felt like his girl just left for an Usher concert, so he goes and follows suit. All Buddy wanted to do was save his chick. Poor guy. Frank eventually finds a ramp and goes X Games to reach the bad guy. She may have gotten flipped and was taken for a ride she wasn't ready for, but she ain't complaining. Once he presses him, he pulls out a needle and pretends it's the needle that they were going to use on Jack, and our buddy is terrified and tries to run away again. We switch to Jeff, Audrey, and the cops, and I hate this scene. Audrey starts snapping on Jeff, saying this is all his fault because he makes too much money. Like, fam, how you hating on him for making smart career choices? Anyway, they find out where Jack is at and run straight there. Audrey is still losing it and snapping on everyone when she runs out herself to the truck while the cops were still inspecting it. Boy, she lucky ain't nobody get killed. Well, not yet, because everything is going according to Gianni's plans. While that's happening, Frank follows the henchmen to his base of operations looking to get cured. Frank starts investigating the place when he gets surprise attacked by one of the goons with a Sparta kick, giving him that Mortal Kombat scene change. Oh hell nah, big man jumped down like he was Goro too. Frank might have a problem here. This time, Goldilocks' baby daddy put some more oomph in the next Sparta kick. Damn. Then slams Frank on the table and starts treating him like a paper towel. Frank found himself some natural boxing gloves and flew at this man with the right, then winded the fuck up out this right hook. Right body, left hook. Weave from Goldie, but that straight right got him. Turned him into a boombastic. Tossed this nigga to a boat. Ooh, these boys scrapping. Gold hairs actually mean Super Saiyan, my bad. Frank hides inside the boat and waits for Buddy to get inside. That's when Frank was able to trap him. That right kick led to a beautiful right uppercut, with Frank continuing to dominate while using a small piece to his advantage. All that rocking the boat caused it to topple right before and fell right on his side. Oh, nah, one more time, go back to that screen. Beautiful. We go back to Buddy, who was fake injected, and now he's demanding the cure to the virus he believes inside him. He's not joking around with his doctor, but that's when Frank comes in and tells him that it's nothing but a placebo. He's salty enough to attack Frank, but that ain't last too long, and now it's just Frank and the doctor. The doctor explains that the airborne virus will kill anyone that's in contact, and Jack is infected. He tosses the only two antidotes in existence out the window. Like what? The doctor didn't take his yet, so doing that was dumb as hell. But Frank jumps after the vials, and he... Ain't no way. And he follows them into traffic. Ain't no way traffic got that bad cause one man got on the road. Well, one of the vials unfortunately broke, so now Frank jets it to the other vial before it's too late. Bruh fucked all their shit up, then slid. We jump back to a doctor telling Jack's parents that he's just a little under the weather, not knowing the truth. Before Jeff leaves for his conference, my guy went on full I want my family back mode. He's going to be at the conference sending her future life text messages. But we talking about perfect timing over here because Frank shows up right when Jeff leaves to approach Audrey to tell her about the virus in Jack and to give him the cure. Frank pretty much took away all the work Jeff did to get his family back with one face touch. Frank leaves but get caught up by the officers and he made quick work of these cops. He didn't have to do all of this. He could have just went through the window. When he leaves, Audrey tries to tell Jeff about the virus, but it's unsuccessful and he proceeds with his meeting. Frank also hits up Coney, who's still at the police station, to get some more clues. But the plans are already bearing fruit since some of the people are already showing symptoms. The next morning, the bad guys are getting ready to get away when Frank barges in right after finding their location. This man is wildin'. He grabbed the taxi to get here and then put this man's life in danger. You better tip him. Somehow they don't die and manage to get into the garage.
The garage.
I'm out of ammo.
Me too. So am I. Where are the reloads?
Garage.
But they all head to the garage in hopes of getting more rounds, when Frank interrupts them. This garage also got a bunch of random shit like axes, pipes, motherfucking swords for the bad guys to grab against Frank. But that means nothing to Frank as he starts weaving and countering these boys. Then he uses the pipes like monkey bars to maneuver around more henchmen. One of them decided to change the mood by cutting the pipes with running steam so the atmosphere is getting all hot and bothered now. Frank grabs the broken pipe piece and treats it like Donatello's staff right now. That's so rude. Hey bruh, just say uncle. Maybe he'll let you go. See? Frank then handles 6 more men with the pipe.
Pause.
Then he completely disrespected the rest by literally calling them trash and also showing them why they're trash as well. Frank gets to the stairway where 2 more goons are waiting for him. Their first mistake was not popping on him immediately, but Frank somehow stalls long enough for them to drop their guard so he can disarm them. Treated that man like he was getting hog-tied.
I don't know how to hog-tie people.
Another wave comes out, and Frank hits the first one with a 2-piece counter, then gives other buddy what I believe is the most disrespectful wedgie ever. Dang, went to sleep so fast I didn't even have time to think about it. But I'd rather be that guy than him. Frank really said fuck them kids. He not even trying anymore. Hit this man so hard that he made Buddy do a flip. Frank got that Tom Brady arm. Now this right here is all types of disrespect. This nigga came back and ain't learned shit. Him too. But Frank is not done being rude. What's sad is that y'all have to live with what just happened to y'all. How y'all going to sleep at night after experiencing that type of L? How can you look at your wife and kids in the eye anymore now? Frank catches up with the main baddie when Gianni explains that he put the antidote inside of him. I don't know about you, Playboy, but I see a good amount of that purple stuff right there.
I want that purple stuff.
I would have shot Rico Suave right there. Roll credits. But credits aren't rolled and great value Lara Croft is back. They start popping off with unnecessary shooting. Y'all know y'all wasting bullets, right? Then she switches from playing Lara Croft to Spider-Woman. which was pretty useless. Why is that even wall decor? Gianni gets away and Frank races across all of Miami to catch him. Looking at this car/helicopter chase, I can definitely see why Statham is in the Fast and Furious movies. I can even see this in the same timeline because some of these scenes can get extra crazy. You'll see in a sec. The chase leads to the airport where Gianni is already on the plane and ready to take off. We get some decent scenes here until the plane finally takes off. Looking like it gave Frank the slip, but we know better. Once Frank reveals himself, Gianni does his dumb shit bad guys always do. Try and monologue. Bro, shoot him! Well, Frank ain't got time for a speech, so he gets this final fight popping. The pilot decides to see what's going on and ends up catching the first bullet. It really pays to mind your own business. I mean, whoever still won needed to land, right? Now the situation is worse with a free-falling plane included. I was going to roast the CGI, but it's 2002, so I'm going to let this one slide. What I won't let slide is that even though these boys are scrapping on a free-falling plane, what's happening inside is not what's happening outside. The plane outside looking like it's spinning fast as shit. Like I know I'm throwing up. But the inside makes it look like a slow spinning ride that you can see at the amusement parks. Like, look at this. The plane is doing more backflips than Spider-Man, yet they are standing perfectly fine. Well, while the plane does a swan dive, Frank gave Gianni a 5-piece with the right jab, followed by 2 left hooks and a good old Sparta kick. Just in time as the plane finally hits the water. Frank is alive and checks on Gianni when Mans had one more surprise attack on him. But surprise, it didn't work.
Get ready to slumber, let brother go home.
Frank is able to get himself and the walking cure out the plane to a surface level, but it's going to be extremely difficult to get help since this was low-key, nobody was searching for them, they just got into the crash, and more importantly, how the fuck? We end the movie off with Frank deciding not to play stepdaddy role. As well as getting him another job.
Yeah.
I'm looking for a transporter.
I'm listening.
While I do think this movie was a step up in certain aspects, it also hindered itself by playing some of the same beats it did in the first movie, which ruined a good amount of its uniqueness. But it did its job in being another solid action movie with plenty of hands, and for that reason, this is another 3-star combo, a 2-piece and a biscuit. The best fight scene was Frank's one-man army scene. Here Statham was able to get his Jackie Chan on with utilizing the area as well as him delivering some great choreography. The next movie I want to talk about is The Transporter 3. Like if you like the video, subscribe if you like the content. Until next time, y'all be easy.